So most people focus on becoming great at one skill and then they stop there. But what if the real advantage, the unfair advantage, comes from combining skills that multiply each other? That's what skill stacking does, and it's why leaders who stack operations, sales, finance can see opportunities that others completely miss. Here's the problem that I see with a lot of business owners and executives. They're brilliant at the one thing. Maybe they're incredible operators or product builders, or maybe they're elite at sales, and they can close absolutely anything. But why stop there? They stay in their lane, and the truth is that makes them one-dimensional. There's the old saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Being a master of one is absolutely fine when everything is going well. But when the market shifts, and when you want to buy or sell a business, or when they're trying to scale their business, that's when being one-dimensional can really hurt you. Skill stacking, so deliberately learning complementary skills outside of your comfort zone, is what creates the resilience, adaptability, and a serious unfair advantage. Skill stacking isn't about being average at everything. It's about adding skills that amplify each other. So let me explain. You're brilliant at operations. So that means you can build systems, solve the complex problems. Absolutely fantastic. But now imagine that you also understand sales and you know how to influence people and how to build a pipeline. And that means you can then drive revenue. Suddenly you're not building a system, but you're building a people system that actually wants to be sold. So now you add in finance on top of that. You understand the numbers behind every decision, what levers drive cash flow, and what really builds a valuation, and how to structure the deals. And at that point, you don't just understand how to build a product or service and sell them, you understand how the entire business machine works end to end. And with that combination, it's very rare and it does give you an unfair advantage. So to build this unfair advantage, we use 3 pillars: operations, sales, and finance. The operations mean that you have a systems thinking approach and you can break those problems down, create repeatable processes, and build the foundations that will scale. The sales are the oxygen of the business. It doesn't matter how good the product or service is, if you can't put that product or service in front of your prospects, you will never get people to buy it. Learning sales teaches you influence, communication, and gives you a customer obsession. It builds the resilience that nothing else can, because you're forced to deal with rejection and figure out what the market actually wants, not what you wish they wanted. Finance is ultimately the scoreboard, and it tells you what's working and what's not. If you can't read a balance sheet or a cash flow statement as a business owner, you're absolutely flying blind. The finance gives you the ability to make strategic decisions, where to invest, where to cut, and how to build the long-term value instead of just chasing that top-line growth. But there's many people out there who will avoid this. The operators avoid sales because it feels uncomfortable. Salespeople avoid finance because the numbers intimidate them. And the finance people avoid operations because they think it's too technical and they can't display it on a spreadsheet. But that's the exact point. If you deliberately learn these skills you'd rather avoid, you instantly differentiate yourself. You become the person who can see the entire board when everyone else is playing with the blinders on. You know how to evaluate operations like a true operator and how to assess the revenue and customers like salespeople do, and how to analyze the numbers in the accounts like a financier. That means that when you're buying a business or selling a business or looking at a deal, you see opportunities others miss. And when you're running a company, you spot the influences and revenue gaps faster. When you're selling, you know how to structure the deal, maximize the valuation. It's like having an X-ray glasses for the business. So if you have operations and sales, you can have a better product market fit. You're not just building in isolation, but you're building for demand. If your skill set is sales and finance, you can grow smarter. You're not just chasing any revenue. You know which customers are actually profitable. And if you have the finance and operations, you can be a more efficient operator and which systems will deliver you the highest return. But if you have all three, operations, sales, and finance, you can speak the language of your entire company. You can speak to the operators, speak to the sales team, and speak to the financiers. And it builds credibility across the departments. You can hire better team members because you know what great looks like in each function. And you can align with the entire team better because you understand how each piece of the puzzle all fits together. Having all these three skills as well makes you truly resilient to change. Industries are going to change. We're seeing that at the moment with AI, and the market's evolved. The technology is disrupting entire business models. And if you only know the one thing that could be replaced, you're extremely vulnerable. But if you have all these operations, sales, and finance, you're adaptable. You can pivot, you can spot opportunities, you can capitalize on them faster than anyone else. And this isn't just about careers, it's about ownership. Skill stacking positions you to own the business, not just work in them. The thing to remember is you don't have to be an expert in every single area of this. You don't need to be a world-class operator, salesperson, or financier. You don't have to have your MBA or an accounts degree. As long as you're competent, that is generally enough. You want to be good enough so that you can hold conversation with the relevant parties and challenge them if you don't think that something is right. Every couple of months, I sit down with my teams and we look at what skills are missing. Where do they have their struggles? Where could they improve to make them better operators, salespeople, or financiers? And then we pick one for the next couple of months that we're going to work on, develop, and build as a team, because I want all my team to have multiple skills. I want them to be the cheat code of the company. I want them to be able to see opportunities that maybe I don't see because I'm not close enough, but they can. And when we're buying, building, and scaling these businesses, that edge that it gives us is going to compound over time and really give us those opportunities. So if you're serious about building a business that can scale, sell, or stand without you, connect with me on LinkedIn. They're exactly the kind of conversations I love having with business owners and operators, because the people who deliberately stack their skills today, they're the ones who will be untouchable tomorrow.